Good evening and welcome to tonight's special presentation. Always a pleasure to be here with all of you as we recognize some amazing individuals, groups, organizations from across the city of Moreno Valley and even beyond our city boundaries. This evening, we have the honor of recognizing a few groups. First, we're going to recognize three distinguished groups who have patiently awaited their moment since our return from summer recess. To commence tonight's proceedings, I'm proud to present the exceptional students, groups, and organizations who truly excelled during our 2024 4th of July Parade and Art Contest. And every year it just gets better and better, so anybody that's interested, if you're watching at home, you're thinking about having a float, do it. Make sure to get that application in to city staff and get ready for next year's. It's always a really fun time. These remarkable participants captured the admiration of our judges with their creativity, energy, and spirit, earning their place as the true stars of the parade. First off, please join me in recognizing our annual 4th of July Art Contest winners. First, Miss Emily Duenas from Palm Middle School, right over here. Second, Miss Liliana Becerra from Landmark Middle School. Congratulations. And there was a third. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us this evening, but we definitely want to recognize her as well. Miss Ariana Correa, also from Palm Middle School. If we could give her a round of applause. These three young artists the two behind me here and the third that's also being recognized stunned the judges with their masterpieces. You could see some of the work right here with us. And we certainly want to congratulate you and hope that we'll see your art here in City Hall, just right outside the chambers, and then around the city at our libraries as well through our art loan program. So can we give them another big round of applause, please? Congratulations and thank you for participating and making our annual parade and festival what it is. Now, let's go to our 4th of July Parade contest, which seeks to recognize organizations and individuals who went above and beyond with their floats, entering into specific categories for their patriotic rights. Out of 75 remarkable entries this year, I'm honored to present the top 7 first place winners by category. And the first place winner in the category of theme, or the theme category, is the American Legion Post 574. Congratulations. Thank you, as always, for joining us every year. The first place winner in the most entertaining category was Turning Point Pentecostal Church. Congratulations, y'all. Thank you so much for participating. First place in the Outstanding Community Display category is the Liberty Float. Mr. James Baker, one of our commissioners. Amazing floats. If you need any advice, James Baker is your guy, for sure. First place in the Outstanding Non-Commercial Entry is the MVUSD All Marching Band. And I don't know how they do it, but they're out there marching in that summer heat, and they do it with just this smile on their face, and it's just amazing to see all the students marching down the parade every year. So thank you so much, MVUSD, as well. First place in the commercial entry category is Paris Flowers. Congratulations, they're just right across the street. If you need any flowers, you don't have to drive, you can even walk there. So thank you for Paris Flowers. The first place winner in Outstanding Vehicle Entry is Patriot Guard Riders. I love it, I love it. Thank y'all so much. And then last but not least, the first place winner for Outstanding Craftsmanship is the Morning and Noon Rotary. I know Charlie is right here. Thank you so much, Charlie, for all you do for the kids and the students in our community. Thank you so much. Now, additionally, I would like to acknowledge all those who are not up here with us today, but certainly we understand the significant effort that it takes in being involved and getting prepared for this once a year event. And it's our biggest event of the year. Every single year it grows, we get more people out here, so we always look forward to that. Now, let's give one more special round of applause to everyone who participated, everyone who's, at home, anyone that came out to join just to whether it was getting candy or whatever it was, just to make it what it is, because that is our premier event in the heart of the summer. And, that along with the fireworks show at the end of the evening is always what everybody looks forward to. So can we give everybody who participated another big round of applause, please? And with that, I think we're going to take a quick picture with the City Council. And then I know at the end of our special presentations, I know there's family and friends here. So once we're done with our 3 presentations, there'll be an opportunity for family and friends to come up and take pictures as well. So at this time, I would like to invite my colleagues on the council so we could take a group picture.
There you go. Right here with the trophy, just a little bit this way, a little bit this way. There we go. Perfect, perfect. All right, we're gonna do a couple. We're gonna do 1, 2, and 3. All right, do one more. And one more for safety. Wonderful. Thank you all so much.
All right, and for our second special presentation of the evening, I'd like to invite my colleague, Councilmember Ed Delgado.
No applause necessary. Knock it off, knock it off. It's just me. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'm happy to announce and recognize 2 superstars from our Sheriff's Office assigned to the Moreno Valley Station. Deputy of the Second Quarter, Deputy Austin Lane, and Classified Employee of the Second Quarter, Sheriff's Record Clerk 2, Eden Ovando. Congratulations, guys. Yes. Both employees from our Riverside Sheriff's Office are second to none, truly exemplifying service above self. Today, we honor 2 very special individuals, each one making their community a safer and better place to live. As we move forward with this special presentation, I want to let you know that Deputy Lane will not be attending tonight unless he's here. No. As he and his wife are new parents. Yes. So they will be sure to take that congratulatory clap to Deputy Lane and his wife and their new baby. And as a father of 3 and a grandfather, I know just how life-changing little ones can be, so I'd like to wish him and his family the best during this exciting time. However, without further ado, please give a big round of applause for Classified Employee of the Second Quarter, Riverside County, Riverside Sheriff's Office, Moreno Valley Station, Records Clerk 2, Eden Ovando. Come on up. Congrats. Don't worry, you'll have your time to speak in a minute. Being chosen out of a staff population the size of the Moreno Valley Station, Records Clerk Ovando, I tip my hat on your achievements. Please help me in giving Records Clerk Ovando another big round of applause for her accomplishments. And this is where you get the mic.
Good evening, everyone. So I do have a speech prepared. Bear with me. So first, I just want to give my deepest gratitude to the local Sheriff's Administration. Captain Mack, thank you. Also, we have our lieutenant here, our supervisors as well, and also the City Council for this honor. A decade ago, I always wondered what it would be like to work for the Sheriff's Department, and I can say wholeheartedly that serving with the Moreno Valley community, it's been challenging and incredibly rewarding. So I have really enjoyed my time being able to serve this community, and I love coming to work every single day because of the community. So I also want to say that as I serve, I try to keep in mind biblical, academic, and generational teachings that amount to whatever you do, do it to the best of your abilities. And I truly believe that, and today I think that shows for itself as well. If we work with heart, we are able to better serve the public. All right. And I also carry the sheriff motto, service above self. I'm not sure if anyone else has heard that before, but that's one of the mottos that we carry. And I carry that in the way that I serve the public, but also how I serve my colleagues. And I think that way we work well together and we're able to really serve the public's best interests at the end of the day. And also thank you to my parents, papi, mami, gracias por todo lo que hacen. And to my family and my friends for their relentless support in my career goals. It was always a dream of mine to work for the Sheriff's Department, and I am here now, and thanks to their support as well for believing in me. And to the Latino community, es un placer servirles siempre en esta comunidad y espero poder hacerlo la mejor manera que yo pueda. Lastly, thank you to the incredible team of the Moreno Valley Sheriff Records Unit. I like to joke, but I say they're the backbone of the station, and they're an incredible team. I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for them. So thank you so much. Thank you.
So if family or friends or lieutenant want to come up, take some photos. We're going to take some photos with council and then with her certificate in hand.
Wait, hold on. Mom, is this mom? Yes. No, come over here. No, yeah. Come on, get a good one.
Speech,
Dad
love
here?
speech.
Is Dad here?
Yes.
Thank you. This is for you as well. Congratulations. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. You putting it up, Patrick? Okay, I'll start. Okay, so good evening, everyone. This is our last special presentation. I'm honored to recognize a pillar of Moreno Valley's public safety. For the past 6 years, he has called Moreno Valley his home, dedicating himself to bettering our community through his leadership and commitment to fire safety and fire prevention. Would you please welcome Fire Marshal Bloom to join me at the microphone? First and foremost, I want to thank you for your service. You've done so much for the city of Moreno Valley and the whole Riverside County, spanning from your humble beginnings at the County Administrative Center. You have made a name for yourself in the public safety sector. And secondly, I want to congratulate you on your promotion to the Office of Fire Marshal, Strategic Planning Division. I know, as well as my city council knows, you'll continue building upon your career. Just know that the city of Moreno Valley will always support you and are thankful for the time you've put into our community. And with that being said, I'd like to present you with this commendation, which details all of the work you've put into your public safety career, and let it serve as a reminder to you of your accomplishments and a good projection of where you're headed. Now, bear with me, I'm gonna read it, okay? This is where it usually gets tricky. Whereas Fire Marshal Doug Bloom began his journey in public safety and service on January 20th of 2005 as a fire systems inspector within the Riverside County Administrative Center in downtown Riverside. In the short length of a year, Doug Bloom was promoted in 2006 to fire safety specialist at the Riverside County Admin Office in Murrieta, where he spent 7 years serving the people. And after his time in Murrieta, Doug Bloom was then promoted to fire safety supervisor for the city of Lake Elsinore, where he established a community risk reduction program. And for the city of Lake Elsinore, he was also school inspection, business license, hazard abatement, and fireworks programs. Doug Bloom was transferred then to the city of Moreno Valley in 2017, where he continued his duties as the fire safety supervisor, assisting the fire marshal with daily operations until his eventual promotion to fire marshal in the city of Moreno Valley in 2021, where he played a vital part in the development services with new construction inspections, managing annual inspections, hazard mitigation, business annual inspections, and multifamily inspection programs. Doug Bloom's multiple certifications in water-based fire protection systems has made him an integral part of improving fire safety and regulatory processes for the city of Moreno Valley, integrating and streamlining modern technology, including the GIS systems. So therefore, be it resolved on behalf of the city of Moreno Valley and the city council, we do hereby commend Fire Marshal Doug Bloom for his many years of service to the residents of Moreno Valley and are thankful for his leadership and commitment to the well-being of our community.
I'd just like to say it's been an honor to serve Moreno Valley, and I'm humbled by being given the opportunity to do that. A few of the programs that I am proud of that I was able to be a part of is a SAFER program, which took donations from businesses to be able to provide those to the residents of the city. The other accomplishment I'm very proud of is to be able to complete state mandated inspections at 100% every single year. And those are our target hazards. Those are our apartments, hotels, motels, and schools. So very proud of that. And as was mentioned, the GIS system and the improvement of the Acela, the efficiency and inspections, I think really made a big difference in bringing safety, better safety to the city. And I just want to say thank you to council, to the mayor, to Chief Park, Sean, Mike, or Brian, everybody in the city staff. It's been a great to work with you. Very elite group you have here. So the citizens are very lucky to have these guys. And then on top of it, I want to say thank you to OEM, our partners over there, fire administration, and then most importantly, my family and the fire prevention group, my fire family. Thank you.
Congratulations and thank you. Thank you for your years of service.
I appreciate it.
Jesse, we gotta have you hold some stuff.
Yes, hardware. Thank you. Work a little bit more.
Someone take about 2 steps this direction. A little bit more, and then we're all going to squeeze in towards the center.
Is he good on the end there?
Should come here, you wanna come here? Is he over here?
Hey, he's fine right there.
He's fine there, he's right here.
All right. And 3, 2, 1. One more safety. 3, 2, and 1. There we go.
Yep, absolutely.
Good job, Shay. That was about
All right, one more big round of applause for Doug Bloom, please. We'll definitely miss seeing you around City Hall, but I'm sure you won't be too far away. So thank you once again for your service to the city of Moreno Valley. And with that, folks, it is 5:55. That brings us to the conclusion of our special presentations for today. And we'll be back in just a few minutes for our regular council meeting. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley, Moreno Valley Community Services District Board of Directors, City as Successor Agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley, Moreno Valley Housing Authority Board of Directors, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, and the Moreno Valley Community Foundation Board of Directors. The City Council receives a separate stipend for CSD meetings. I now call this meeting to order on August 20th, 2024 at 6:08 p.m. We will start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember, would you like to volunteer to lead us? Okay, Councilmember Delgado will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing for the invocation given by Father Christopher Navarro from St. Christopher's Parish.
Please join me by placing your right hand over your heart to pledging allegiance to our flag. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Good evening.
And now let us now put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord. And let us pray. Almighty God, we give you praise and thanks for all your mighty works. You are loving, you are good, you are gracious. Thank you for creating us and sustaining us day by day. Thank you that you made us in your own image to exist in community with other people. We thank you for our city, Lord. Thank you for elected officials, the businesses, the churches, the families and individuals that make our city great place that is. Grant that our city would be known as a righteous city, a city that praises one Almighty God, a city of peace and hope, a city with happy homes, a city that welcomes the stranger, a city that cares for the needy, a city that defends the innocent from evildoers. I pray, O Lord, for this council meeting tonight, with the council members' wisdom and guidance as they deliberate on the concerns before them. May every decision be righteous in your sight, for our benefit and for your glory. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Father Navarro, for the invocation this evening. I appreciate it. That brings us next to item D. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Honorable Mayor. Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
Here.
Councilmember Delgado.
Here, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem Bernard.
Here.
And Mayor Cabrera.
Here. Brings us to item E, motions to excuse. We don't need any, seeing as we have everyone present. Next is item F, staff introductions, please.
Patty Rodriguez, Acting City Clerk.
Paul Bradvica, Deputy City Clerk.
Stephen Quintanilla, City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Brian Mohan, Assistant City Manager, Administration.
Sean Kelleher, Assistant City Manager, Development.
Lonnie Jimenez, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
Melissa Walker, Director of Public Works.
Jeremy Bubnick, Parks and Community Services Director.
Robert Cardenas, Human Resources Director.
Cruz Esparza, Director, Economic Development and Housing Department.
Sarah Mack, Chief of Police.
Jesse Park, Fire Chief.
Thank you so much, staff. It's always a pleasure to be here in the chamber with you. Next is item G, approval of order of agenda. And we'll turn to my colleagues on the council to see if there's any questions or comments. If not, I'll look for a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and a second on the floor. Madam Clerk, please call for the vote. Thank you, and the order of the agenda is approved unanimously. That brings us to item H, which is public comments on matters that are not on the agenda. Please be advised that the city is currently offering Spanish translation services. If anyone is interested in this service, please let the city clerk's office know. La ciudad actualmente ofrece servicios de traducción al español. Si alguien está interesado, por favor, nos avisan. Before we move on to public comments, I would like to remind everyone to direct their comments to the City Council. For comments on items that are on tonight's agenda, each speaker will have a total of 3 minutes to comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on non-agenda items?
Yes, we do. The first three speakers are Jim Wilk, followed by Johnny Bennyworth, and followed by Alti Holcomb.
First of all, I'm Jim Wilk. I'm with Monarch Technologies. First of all, I love celebrations, and I love the fact that the city took the time and honored the best of the best. We think our company's the best of the best, but the people here, you had young generation, old generation, and somebody in between. So everybody got covered, but I was very impressed that you took the time out, and that'll be something they'll remember for the rest of their life, I'm certain of it. Anyway, I got 3 minutes, so Simon Cowell says 3 minutes could change your life. So hopefully my life will change after this 3 minutes, and yours will too, along with some of the residents and some of the cannabis owners. I'm here basically as a representative of Monarch Technologies. We just recently signed a contract with the city of Desert Hot Springs. We already did Lancaster prior to that, and we're working with Fiona Ma up in the Capitol to digitalize and automate tax collections for the city. We do it all. We do it digitally. We have pickups with OSS, which are all ex-Navy SEALs, policemen, and never missed a pickup. And then we do the automation live from the metric system and the point of sales with the dispensary. So once a month, and today happens to be our first collection day, and we didn't miss a beat up in Desert Hot Springs. And dealing with people that are used to dealing with cash and trying to have them give us their bank accounts, connections, and do things differently was an enormous task, but we got it done. And the reason I'm here tonight is I've tried the normal emails. We were at League of Cities last year. We'll be in Long Beach this year. But we're right at that crust in time that a city that you have almost $8.9 million worth of sales tax collections. We think we can get your costs down, automate everything, give you the reports that you need. And I'm really looking just for the opportunity to connect with somebody and have, I would think that somebody up here has to wonder, what is he talking about? Right now, things are pretty much done manually, digitally. We automate that. We automate the invoices. We give reports. We collect all the data from every dispensary on every sale. So self-reporting is good, but if you're going to legitimize the cannabis business and reschedule it from a 3 to a 1, this is step one. And the city's a leader in cannabis in California. I mean, we're talking too with LA. We've already done a presentation up there. And we will get the state, and we'll get every city, because we're the only ones that do what we do. I know there's consultants, not only in this place, but others that do some auditing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We'll make sure to get your staff will get your contact information, and we'll follow up. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Johnny Benworth, followed by Alti Holcomb, followed by Katie Myers.
You can move that microphone.
You can lower.
Try to get up and stand. Okay. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is John Bennyworth. I am past president and Americanism chairman for the Moreno Valley Elks Lodge. The Elks have always been a very patriotic organization. We staffed and built the first field hospitals in World War I. We built the first veterans hospital in Massachusetts to treat the doughboys that came back having been gassed with their sights and respiration. We were the first to respond on that horrible Tuesday in September, when we all thought the world was coming to an end. We responded to the families who needed support, and we're proud of that. Now we are raising an issue with the government that we would like to make the month of September, Patriot Month, with the 9th to the 17th as being Patriot Week. And we would ask the City Council, I have a prepared program that comes from our national headquarters, to honor first responders, military families that are still serving, honor those who've lost their lives, who gave their all. After 9/11, firefighters rushed to the site and rushed to their deaths. This would give us a chance to honor them and their families. So I have a prepared proclamation that comes from our Grand Lodge, which is our national headquarters, and I'll leave a copy with you. And I would ask that you consider making September 9th through the 17th National Patriotism Week. We're also going into the schools, our junior high schools, and we have prepared a national contest for them to write an essay on what patriotism means to me. The kids are going to get credit from their teachers for writing it and possibly a cash award from us. So we thank you for the opportunity to stand before you, and I would ask for your consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And we'll make sure that staff gets your contact information so we can follow up as well.
The next three speakers are Alti Holcomb, followed by Katie Myers, followed by David Zietz.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. I just simply like to introduce myself. My name is Alti Holcomb, and I'm the new Government Affairs Officer for the March Joint Powers Authority. Now, obviously, you don't have any trouble in reaching the JPA since Councilmember Delgado is our chair of the commission, and the mayor is a member of that commission as well. Nevertheless, I do make myself available. Thank you.
Thank you, Alti.
The next three speakers are Katie Myers, followed by David Zietz, followed by Julie Pedroza.
I apologize in advance. This was a little last minute for me. But I'm here on behalf.
If you can move the microphone if you'd like. There you go.
Sorry, people were. I'm here on behalf of a lot of the parents over at California Rush to speak on behalf of the state of our park. We have had fields designated for us, lights put in at Victoriano Park, closer to the Moreno Valley campus of RCC. And in these last months since we've been there, the field has deteriorated drastically. We frequently are not having the lawn cut every week like we should be, so you have a lot of areas that are super overgrown, but then the converse issue is there definitely seems to be issues with the watering. Got a lot of dirt everywhere, and oftentimes it's as if it just rained. It's so wet and muddy and squishy, creating dangerous conditions for all of our kids to be practicing in. They also have the covers for what I'm assuming is plumbing access throughout, and those are often, they're depressed in the dirt, so also another tripping hazard, but they're often full of water. We've had times where the bathrooms have not been unlocked for us, but our primary concern is that the field conditions are just getting worse and worse, not better, creating unsafe conditions for our kids to practice every week.
Thank you for letting us know. We don't usually, during public comment, we don't, actually have a full-on conversation, but we'll make sure that Patrick gets your contact information so that we can make sure that gets addressed. And I think also Parks Department might talk to you as well. So thank you for letting us know. Thank you for bringing that to our attention so we can address that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next three speakers are David Zietz, followed by Julie Pedroza, followed by Phyllis Rosenberg.
Good evening. My name's David Zietz. My comments this evening are my own, not part of the Planning Commission. Last week that you guys voted in the 1% sales tax, and listening to the different discussions they're having, that we are one of the lowest cities in the area with our sales tax. I think we could look at it a different way, is why don't we promote that? And let's see if we can get people to come shop Moreno Valley, because our taxes are lower. You figure on a car, If they buy a car, you're saving $500 to $600 in the purchase of that car because of that 1%. So that's just something I thought I'd throw out there and see what you guys thought. Thanks.
The next three speakers are Julie Pedroza, followed by Phyllis Rosenberg, followed by Armando Pedroza.
Good evening, Julianne Pedroza, Building Up Lives Foundation. Good evening, council and staff. And Elena, your mom would be so proud of you. Let me tell you, happy birthday. Building Up Lives, we've been focusing on food. A lot of the community is really struggling with food. So we've made some very interesting partnerships. We're trying to figure out a way to get food to seniors, like a Meals on Wheels out here. We have partnered with a company that does just that, but they don't have the food. And so the partnership works really good. Currently, we feed on Sundays at our Hemlock, 23185 Hemlock at 2:30, and we pick up from Trader Joe's. We bring anywhere between 500 to 1,500 pounds of food, and that goes back out to the community the very same day. We're a bit different. We don't bag it and put it in their cars. We have them come into the store and they pick the items that they want. So we don't want to throw, for instance, figs. I love figs. Nobody likes figs. But there's a huge part of the population that's never even eaten a fig. So they have no clue. So part of that's education too. Like, here, try this. This is what you do. And they don't know how do you peel it? Do you eat it the way it is? And this time we had yellow, green. I didn't even know they had green figs that you can eat, and black figs. So we have a lot of really healthy food. We also get our junk food. We partner with different organizations to be able to bring food. If we get food on an off day, not a Sunday, we try to hand out all that food the same day. We try to reach out as far as we can in our community. And again, we see the biggest need is our seniors right now. So we're trying to focus on our seniors. But we feed, on Sundays, we feed anywhere between 150 to 350 feeding on that day. As far as that, we have Our Place Restaurant, which is a food booth open from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, 7 days a week, including the holidays. Emergency food. They can come in at any time, talk to the waitress, get frozen food out of the fridge, and get whatever from the table. And that feeds no less than 6 people a day. So 6 families, that is. So looking forward to doing more partnerships in the city. Have a few car dealers that are interested in doing food for the community, which I find that's very exciting because it gives me a different area of the city. We try to reach everybody, and that's a really hard task to do. Our seniors, our disabled people are able to text me and get in front of the line as well. So, thank you.
Thank you.
The next 3 speakers are Philip Rosenberg, followed by Armando Pedroza, followed by James R. Moore.
Good evening, everyone. So I want to add on to what she was saying, actually. It's such a blessing to see how many people come get Trader Joe's food. You would be amazed. People are just blown away and astonished by the fact that they can pick what they want. Because, frankly, there's a lot of picky people. But it's nice, and then we have a little area with like sweets and stuff where the kids can pick themselves and not the parent. It's just so nice. But anyways, I actually wanted to refer some information for kids my age anyways. So I've been to 2 different schools in the district, and I've asked about college. I'm officially a senior now, so it's that time where I got to prepare. And I just discovered that if you have a guardian anointed to you in court after the age of 13, you qualify for guardian scholars at RCC. And if you have no income, they cover your full tuition. And none of my schools knew that, so I wanted to refer that. Otherwise, I don't really have much to say. You know, we're doing good. We're doing the food. Community's doing better. We don't have as much problems with people. They're definitely a lot more respectful, but we're doing good. Anyways, I just want to update you guys, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Philip.
The next three speakers are Armando Pedroza, followed by James Armour, followed by Dora Capolino.
Hello, my name is Armando Pedrosa. This is my first time speaking for reasons I couldn't speak before, but now I am. I just want to introduce myself. I am the other half of the Building Up Lives Foundation little girl there. I'm her husband. I was married before for 40 years, and my wife, former wife, passed away in my arms. And she told me before that to find somebody, to not to stay put, to do something with my life, not to be grieving. So I went ahead, and one day I had a bunch of dog food because we had COVID, so we all were storing. I had 5 bags of 40-pound dog food. And my buddy of mine, he and I worked together. I'm retired CHP for 23 years. I served our county, and I was injured so many times, they finally put me out to rest. But my buddy told me, hey, go out and what are you gonna do with all this dog food? You know, because I only had this little tiny dog. Well, he suggested find a place. And I did one day, and I ran into her store at the time, and I went in and I met Julie. And like I said, my wife wanted me not to grieve. She wanted me to move forward with my life, and she wanted me to remarry. And so I met Julie, and things just started rolling. I told her, you know, what happened with me. And she, in the meantime, she and I just hit it off well. And so now I worked with her. I've seen the wonderful things she does. I've seen a lot of elderly people, a lot of children, which that touches my heart. And I'm grateful to you folks because you're helping support the system. You're helping to help little children get food. So you just imagine if you have children, they can't get any food. Well, I see it in the front when I register them in, and they get excited to be able to choose the kind of food that they want. And Julie goes out there along with our volunteers, and I praise the volunteers because they all do the legwork. I'm just a driver. I just fill in the paperwork when they register. But I'm grateful to everybody that participates in this program to help feed the people in our community that need the food. And so just want to introduce myself and thank you.
The next three speakers are James Armour, followed by Dora Capolino, followed by Christopher Baca.
How's it going, City Council, Mayor, Pro Tem? It's nice to see you guys again. I just came to share a couple things. First thing is first, I want to share this amazing partnership Inland Compassion has made. There's a new nonprofit in Moreno Valley called the Underdog Campaign. The founder, Anthony, reached out to me. Last night we did some outreach. It was amazing. It was super fun. So I'm really excited about this partnership. And then next thing we're doing, we have a fundraiser at the Texas Roadhouse. And so the goal of this fundraiser, they have reached out to us and we're able to get 10% of the proceeds. All anyone has to do is show up and say they're there for Inland Compassion. The money we're going to use for that, we're going to use that for a family who's in danger of becoming homeless. So since the last time I seen you guys, I've been contacted 8 different times by families who need help with rental assistance. They're getting evicted or they're already on the streets, and it's really hard for people, right? So I figured that's the perfect opportunity to do that. So that's going to be something we are looking forward to and super excited. And then since the last time I've seen you guys, the last time I was here, we've housed 6 people. So we've been pretty busy, and so we're super blessed, super grateful. Building Up Lives Foundation, Hole in the Wall, Inland Compassion. We're out here putting in work. We're in the trenches. We have lived experiences as well as the experience needed to make a difference in the community. So I'm really happy that you guys trust us, and we're just going to keep doing our best. So just wanted to share that.
What's the date for the Texas Roadhouse event?
The date's going to be the 3rd, and it's from 4 to 8 p.m.
September 3rd from, what's the time?
4 to 8 p.m. Yeah, so super, super excited. This would be our very first fundraiser we ever did. So hopefully it's successful. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And like I said, I already have a family in mind that I want to help. So whatever the proceeds go, we're going to help contribute. And then help a family, because there's a lot of families out here who are homeless, right? And it's serious, and nobody wants their child to be out on the street sleeping in a car, and it breaks my heart as a father, right? So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Dora Capolino, followed by Christopher Baca, followed by Linda Thomas.
Good evening. I've been a resident for over 37 years, so I've witnessed a lot, good and bad. Currently, though, we have a mayor who has shown just how recklessly he wields his authority. Last year, the mayor initiated a citizen's arrest, accusing a respectable member of our community of harassment and claiming to fear for his life. Despite his misleading claims, he managed to secure a restraining order. The real reason behind Cabrera's accusations was simply to tarnish the man's reputation, because the mayor cannot tolerate criticisms at city council meetings. After a year of legal battles, this case has finally concluded. According to the judge, there was no evidence of any real danger, even with the 3 witnesses that Cabrera presented. This behavior from the mayor of Moreno Valley might not affect the November election, but it certainly raises questions about his suitability for any future positions he seeks. It's disappointing that we have a mayor who resorts to such underhanded tactics, using taxpayer money to fund his legal defenses. This was a blatant misuse of power, and it's important that we hold our leaders accountable. Thanks.
The next three speakers are Christopher Baca, followed by Linda Thomas, followed by Bob Palomares.
Good evening, staff, community, and elected officials. My name is Chris Baca, and I'm here on behalf of myself. My comments are my own and not influenced by anybody. First of all, I'd like to say happy birthday to my wonderful niece, Elena Santa Cruz. Elena Baca, that's my mom's name. So she's our favorite, always been our favorite in our family. She was the first niece that we had, and believe me, we're so proud of her, our whole family, and I'm just amazed how she's taken on the, what's it called? Maternal, I can't think right now, but anyhow, she's taken the lead in our family, and that's really impressive, and we're very happy of her. On another note, I just wanted to touch on the sign issue, the political issue, the politics that's going on in our sign issue. So far, so good. We've been working really hard on the signs. We've had a couple of setbacks. For instance, one of them that I don't know, but it sounds a little fishy, but we had some of the signs removed by a barbershop, and from what I understand, that's where Cabrera gets his hair done. I don't know if that's true, but anyhow, the barbershop insisted that we remove those signs because it's blocking her business, but yet her signs are blocking the other businesses. So, but we're not going to argue over petty things like that. I just wanted to bring that into attention, that we need to be considerate of the businesses when we're placing our signs. She also stated that another individual stated in that commercial area that all the signs there are affecting their businesses, and they kindly asked the other campaigns to remove them. And we were the only ones that removed them. Well, we didn't remove them, we didn't replace them. And I don't know, I guess certain campaigns feel they're more important than the local businesses. Also, we need to understand that we should be in compliance. I'm noticing some of the signs that are hooked onto each other. That's a violation. Also, some of the areas that they're being placed on are not being allowed, but yet they remain. So I just want to point out that if anything goes wrong, like a sign is moved or stolen or something, let's not automatically prejudge and think that the other campaign is removing them or something. We just need to look a little further. It's usually another business or the homeless or somebody that wanted the polls. We had one campaign that had the polls that got removed and left the sign. And
The next three speakers are Linda Thomas, followed by Bob Palomares, followed by Luis Palomares.
Good evening. My name is Linda Thomas, and I've been a resident of Moreno Valley for over 10 years. I'm here tonight to bring attention to a serious matter that affected not just my family, but our entire community. As you may know, my husband was recently involved in a legal battle initiated by Mayor Ulysses Cabrera. The mayor filed a restraining order against my husband, accusing him of harassment and claiming to fear for his life. However, just today, the court dissolved the temporary restraining order and denied the request for a permanent one. The judge found no evidence to support the mayor's claim, even after a year of legal proceedings. This was more than just a legal dispute. This was an attempt to misuse the legal system to silence a vocal critic. The mayor used city resources funded by taxpayers like you and me to pursue baseless claims against my husband. And when that didn't work, he even tried to pin a felony on him, another attempt that failed. This isn't just about my husband. This is about the length to which someone will go to silence, dissent, and avoid accountability. We all have the right to express our opinions, especially when it comes to holding our elected officials accountable. My husband has always been a law-abiding citizen, actively involved in our community. The fact that these tactics were used against him is alarming. But this isn't just an isolated incident. It's part of a bordered pattern of intimidation and harassment that we've experienced simply because we've spoken out. This behavior of the mayor is unacceptable. It's abuse of power. It's something every resident of Moreno Valley should be concerned about. As we approach the upcoming election, I urge you all to consider what kind of leadership we want for our city. We don't want leaders who misuse their power to attack private citizens. Or do we want leaders? We want leaders to respect the rights and voices of their constituents. I stand here tonight to say that we deserve better. We deserve leaders who are transparent, accountable, and who genuinely care about the well-being of our community. Let's make sure our voices are heard, not just at the city council chambers, but at the ballot box this November. Thank you.
The next two speakers are Bob Palomares, followed by Luis Palomares.
I also want to touch on what Ms. Thomas just said. You know, Cabrera, first of all, I always salute the first responders. I almost forgot. You know, Cabrera has a track record of being involved in, you know, they could be minor things, you know, like trying to delay the swearing in of a council member. You know, just all those little things add up. He kind of has former council member Marcus's playbook, you know, lie and deny. But, you know, going after this family, that's really going below the belt. As a matter of fact, I'd like to have make a public request for what has it cost the taxpayer to defend him. You know, the city council, I'm sure the city attorney or other people have given him advice from the very onset of his claims and told him, wait a minute, the sheriff's department, I don't think they filed the report. They didn't want to deal with it. There was nothing to it. The district attorney, I'm sure, heard of it or seen it, said the same thing. But yet he pursues it because he has the will to do it. You know, he can pressure the city attorney, so they oblige and get him the attorney. And what does he do? He goes after him for a whole year. And you know, these people used their daughter's college fund to defend themselves, being innocent. That's dirty. But that's the kind of man we have up there. I know everybody likes to hear all of the good stuff, but you know, you got to take the good with the bad. And right now, that's the bad. And man, you know, it's hard to phantom that we have to be coming up here when these things happen, when, you know, we shouldn't, you know, because I see all the awards going, the presentations, and it's a great thing. And that's what I like seeing, you know, talking about what's coming in. But we've got to deal with him. And if he comes in for 2 more years, that's his track record. Believe me, there's going to be something coming down the pike, because that's who he is. When he shows you, believe him. You know, he's a liability just like Marcus was. And you might be his friend today, but as soon as he's done with you, he'll kick you to the curb. He'll spit you out. Thank you.
The next two speakers are Luis Palomares, followed by Roy Blackard.
Wow, I'm pretty emotional. I'm pretty emotional because today proves the truth. When this man was in court and when he walks out, he goes, well, he won't do that again, meaning Elmer Thomas. He won't do that again. Instead of just being quiet, you couldn't go there because your ego and all that won't let you. You never could be wrong. You never could be wrong. Do you even have a heart of flesh, I wonder? Do you even have a heart of flesh? I want to know that. You know, this was a slap lawsuit. Google it. Maybe you know what it is. A slap lawsuit to stifle people's First Amendment right. If they want to say here for you, that's here for you. But you got thin skin, like your friend Marcus would say, thin blood. You know, come on. You're in the mayor. You're going to be criticized. You're going to be told things too, because we don't agree about a lot of stuff you're doing in our community. This, you know, this cost, they had to spend thousands of dollars of their daughter's college fund. She's at a college over here in Fullerton. Now she can't have a dorm there. She has to drive home and all that. Because this guy, and he was using the taxpayers' dollars. If it was his own dollars, I don't think he would have went that far with it. But he had to be right. He had to prove it. You're so vindictive. How dare you? We don't need somebody in our city like you doing this. Your friend Marcus tried to do the same thing with me at the school board. Never happened. You know, come on. This is your playbook. This is the way you're running our city, on fear and intimidation and with slap suits to make people go away. Well, we're not going away. Throw the cuss at me. I ain't going away. I'm here and I'm going to say what I need to say, whether you like it or not. You put yourself in that seat, we're going to criticize you. We're not going to like what you do. We've done this, you know. If we like, hey, we'll say it. If we don't, we're going to say it too. Whatever it is. You know, Victoria Baca, she said a 25-page opinion in the courts in Riverside that we could come in to any meeting and say whatever we want. Even if it's not truthful, we could say it. You'll deal with us in that when you can, you know, say defamation. Okay. But that's not the truth. We're here with the fact. We got it to back up because you show it all the time on these screens when you're up there lying and intimidating the community. You know that? It's a sad day in Moreno Valley that we got you for a mayor. You know, that we got you for a mayor, the bottom of the bucket. Shame on you. We went through all these heartaches with this family. You know, we went through all these heartaches. But like I said, you got the money. You got the city's money to do what you want. So what's next? What are you going to do next to the community? And I've heard from a lot of people in the community, what's up with that mayor? Why is he doing this? You know, golly, like I said, do you even have a heart of flesh? How much money has it cost us, this slap lawsuit? That's what it's called. It's a slap to shut us up and make us go away. But we're not going away. You give us more ammo every time. I want to let it go. I want to leave it alone. But you can't. You'll always...
And the final speaker is Roy Blackard.
If you want people to eat figs, turn them into fig Newtons and they'll grab them out of your hand trying to get to them. See how simple this is? But this is exactly how any of this doesn't work. problem with this is starting with that dais through this well is you're all government employees or have been. Listen to what Gavin Newsom said in his politicking comments and some of my commentary on it. You'll see what's going on. You know, the SEIU employees applauded me at the county board because I told them the truth. Flat told them the truth. Mr. Zeitz had a great point. You know, there's a former city manager. Somebody brought up a point. We should be putting billboards down Day Street, pointing at Riverside, saying, you want to go over there, pay more. No, can we not do that? No. We want to perpetuate government power. We do not ever want to enlist the talent in this city that could solve and did solve that without doing what you're saying is happening, and could have built a lot better city, but we're in the condition we are. Mr. Mayor, you should put on a motion on the agenda next week or next meeting. You're going to open up I want to know every frickin' cent that was spent on that case. And I don't want the staff to do one iota of work. You need to do it. I don't want to cost the taxpayers any more money from what you did. You should volunteer for that. You should put it on the agenda. If he won't, should go to the mayor pro tem, should put that on the agenda, or one of you two council members. Let's start showing some guts. If you are for transparency, if you're saving for the taxpayer, or you're concerned about the citizens, let's start showing it. And if you, Mr. Mayor, hold to your word, which you haven't done for 8 years, come into my playground, sit next to me, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about everything that's went on, the conversations. I have no problem discussing any of it and making it public. Ever. Talk about transparency. You talk about this, talk about how we're doing for the people, then I'm putting it right up. Put up or shut up. And if you can't do that, every one of you should quit. Every one of you should resign. You've made a joke. It's been a joke. It's going to be almost 40 years of my native land. Sadly, one person probably ain't going to see it, but maybe in my lifetime, I might see the city turn around, but I don't think so.
No more speakers, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into item I, which is the joint consent calendars. And before I open the consent calendar for public comment, I asked my fellow council members if there are any items that they wish to remove from the consent calendar for separate action. Turning up to the dais to see if there's any requests for the consent calendars. Okay, I don't see any. So we will go ahead and move into public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak for the consent calendar?
No, Mayor, no request to speak.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So with that, any comments from the council on the consent calendar? Just real quick, want to highlight item I-8, which is an MOU for between the City of Moreno Valley and Moreno Valley College. Just want to thank city staff for working on that because it's a major asset for the City of Moreno Valley. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out at Moreno Valley College, the iMake Innovation Center, they recently refurbished it. Thankfully, they were able to get new technology in there, all types of amazing things for not just Moreno Valley College students, but for the entire community, for all residents that live in the City of Moreno Valley. So if you get a chance to check it out, highly recommend it. And again, just want to thank our staff. Before we go to a motion, any
Can we talk
other
about where
comments?
the funding comes from for this? Since
Are you
we're-
talking about
Yeah, about the
item
mobile
I-8?
learns, yeah. The 400,000, where does that come from?
Councilmember, as described within the staff report for I-8, the Moval Learns is funded through the Moreno Valley Community Foundation.
Perfect.
Okay. So with that, I will make a motion to approve the joint consent calendars and seeking a second.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Madam Clerk, please call for the vote. And that passes with 4 yeses. That brings us next to, there's no items on J for public hearings. That brings us to K, which is general business. And public comments on each general business item shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker and must pertain to the subject matter under consideration. Item K1 is a consideration of a resolution of the City of Moreno Valley creating a homeless ad hoc subcommittee pursuant to Legislative Policy 1.07, Council Subcommittee meetings. And we'll start first with a report from the City Manager's Office.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. So the item before you is, as identified by the mayor, is basically a resolution that would create and establish a homeless ad hoc subcommittee pursuant to Legislative Policy 1.07 for council subcommittee meetings. If you recall, this particular item has come before council a few times now in various forms. And the last meeting that we had was March 19th of this year, in which I was directed to work with a subcommittee of this particular body, which consisted of the mayor and mayor pro tem, to develop the scope and characteristics of this particular homeless ad hoc subcommittee pursuant to this particular policy. We met multiple times and developed the scope and characteristics as outlined in the resolution itself. If approved tonight by this body, then item 2 in the recommendations would be appoint 2 council members to serve on the ad hoc subcommittee for the rest of the calendar year. With that, as we've talked about this for some length of time over several meetings, I will keep it short and I'll be available for any comments or questions anybody may have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Assistant City Manager. With that, we'll go ahead and move into any questions from the council for staff. Are there any questions from the dais? I don't see any at the moment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
We do, Mayor. The first 3 speakers are Julie Pedroza, followed by James Armour, followed by Chris Baca.
Good day again. Julianne, Building Up Lives Foundation. There's this huge gap on the ground where people are working, and there's a lot of people in this city that have the heart, and they go and try to feed the homeless, and they do a lot of things. On that ground where the homeless is and where you guys sit, there's a gap. I'm sorry, there's a gap. I had brought this up where we brought Dana into housing. And this is the man that was living in the alley by Salvation Army. And he had been on the streets for a good 3 years with a medical condition. He should never been on the streets. He should have been in a board and care. He's in housing. He's doing great. But the lack there, like so many resources that you here feel that are in place, kind of bypassed him. And we see this a lot. I don't know where, I'm not here to point fingers. That's not it. But if we don't realize the problem, we can't solve it. So somehow that gap has to come together. It really does. For instance, with Dana, we have how many beds at the hospital here for homeless? I've yet to find one of those beds for our homeless. And Dana was one. Like, that's one person you can talk to. You can go down the rabbit hole and find information. But somewhere we need to bridge that gap. And so hopefully that this committee could do that. I don't know. And again, Building Up Lives, we are 100% volunteer ran. There's no one being paid, including myself, ever been paid through Building Up Lives. My husband and I and the volunteers, we put a lot of our own personal money and our time into it. So we're quite different than other nonprofits. We do not personally profit off of that. There's no paycheck for us. It's about our city. It's about our community and about our people. So I'm all aboard for this, and I'm hoping that this makes a change in our city, because we have about 2,000 homeless in our city. That's on the streets, that's couch surfing, that's in their car. There's at least 2,000. A lot of them are children, people.
The next three speakers are James Armour, followed by Chris Baca, followed by Constance Atkins.
All right, I'm a data guy, so let's start with some data. So, as of the most recent data, approximately 19.2% of students in the Moreno Valley Unified School District are experiencing homelessness. That is 6,075 students. As of the point in time count for 2024, there were 77 people experiencing homelessness in Moreno Valley, which means 77 people were seen on the streets being homeless. This means since last year, homelessness rose by 12%. Last night, Inland Compassion and the Underdog Campaign served 22 homeless individuals. If we are going off the point in time count alone, in which we concentrated on Sunnymead Boulevard and Pigeon Pass area for about 2 hours, we barely hit the surface, which technically means we served 29% of the homeless time count. Imagine how many people we would help if we reached the whole city. With homelessness rising, we need a multidisciplinary approach to reduce homelessness and help house the unhoused. Currently, even if we displace the homeless, throw away their belongings, or even put them in jail with nowhere to go, guess what? They're gonna come back. Instead, we can team up and have a humanistic approach with different nonprofits and government agencies working together to talk about what is working, what is not working, and how can we apply for funding or programs to get people housed. There's no simple solution, and if there was, everyone would be housed, but unfortunately, times are getting harder. We need to vote yes on item K1. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is the definitions of homelessness according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So 1, literally homeless, individuals or families who lack a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. This includes those living in places not meant for human habitation, emergency shelters, transitional shelters. Next is immediate risk of homelessness, individuals or family who will immediately lose their primary nighttime residence within 14 days and lack the resources, support networks to obtain other permanent housing. Next, we have homelessness under other federal statutes, unaccompanied youth under 25 years of age, or families with children and youth who do not otherwise qualify as homeless under this definition but are defined as homeless under other federal statutes, and fleeing and attempting to flee domestic violence. Individuals or families who are fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, stalking, and other dangerous or life-threatening conditions related to violence. So overall, there's a lot of homeless people that are not being accounted for. There's a lot of people who are in danger of becoming homeless, and we need a solution. Times is getting harder. Right now, they say inflation was reduced to, 3%, but we all know the prices of goods and everything are up almost 40%. It's going to get worse, so we need a multidisciplinary approach. So vote yes, please. Thank you.
Our next three speakers are Chris Baca, followed by Constance Atkins, followed by Bob Palomares.
Good evening, Council. I think what I'm thinking is Riverside, the city of Riverside, city of LA, all these other, they have all these committees, they have all these talking heads, and all they're doing is, what is the solution? I was having a conversation with the other person that, Riverside has this ad hoc committee, and I was like, well, what difference is it really making? I mean, Riverside is just about a third bigger than Moreno Valley, and their homeless is way more than what we got here. I mean, it's horrible, and it's approaching LA level. What else? What more talking? What more do you need to resolve this issue? I mean, all these entities that are out there to help are doing what they can. The people that we're talking about don't want the help, and I'm applauding Governor Newsom that's, really taking a stand and doing something. It's about time you address the fact of the matter is that people out there are criminals drug addicts and mentally ill that don't want the help. They want to live the life of crime. They want to live the life of doing drugs on the street. And, you know, I don't understand what some of these nonprofits, it's the same homeless people that have been here for year upon year upon year. You know, I understand their safety net is to help, you know, people in need of some food and some services here. But as far as the actual homeless on the street, you know, enough is enough. You need the city and all these agencies need to do what they're supposed to do, and they're not doing it. You know, the mental health crisis. These people, a lot of these people that have been on the streets for years, are out there, and you know they don't want the help, and the nonprofits are not doing anything, and nobody does anything for them. They're out there. So what's the point of putting more time and effort into something that is just really not going to make no difference? It's just more nonsense. You know, what we have, you know, needs to be, you know, people need to be accountable for what they're supposed to do. And it's not getting done. You know, as far as these nonprofits, they should adopt some of these homeless people and follow through, not just ask them, do you need help? Do you need this? No, you know, adopt them and see where that goes. Maybe that's a different approach you need to do. But going out there and doing another count and saying we help this person and give them information, that's nothing.
The next three speakers are Constance Atkins, followed by Bob Palomares, followed by Luis Palomares.
What's taking Movell so long, huh? So many cities already have these subcommittees to support the homeless, like the city of Palm Springs, Oxnard, and as well as the state of Nevada. It really does puzzle me. These cities have had a head start in their research. They're way farther than us, and on what's most effective for homelessness in their city. We're behind in this issue, and the situation is only going to get harder to handle the more we push these responsibilities away. Why would we prolong this issue if we have the people a part of Inland Compassion who want to take on this responsibility and are passionate in helping the homeless? Though a population of the homeless don't want to seek help, why would we pull the rug from under the individuals that don't want to die on these streets? I know that this resolution has been denied many times, and I'd like to point out the longer we wait, the more we risk the people living on these streets becoming chronically homeless. These individuals not only being adult men and women, but the youth and families. The 2,000 homeless residing in our city are people like us, yet we treat them as a nuisance or indifferent, though hard times can fall on anyone. 59% of Americans are one paycheck away from homelessness. We need this subcommittee for the 19.2% of students in Moreno Valley High School that identify as homeless. This subcommittee can help prevent those struggling on the streets from developing mental health problems and worsening existing behavioral health challenges. Being on the streets can also cause a lot of mental distress and can lead to substance use due to poor resources for coping mechanisms. The longer we wait, the more difficult it will be to house and assist them. On the press release, an overview of homelessness in America from the Financial Services Committee, Nan Roman, the president of the National Alliance to End Homelessness, states that the decline of homelessness has been due to strong outcome-focused federal support and improving strategies and practice at the local level. You, the council, have the power to help Inland Compassion make this difference on a local level by the implementation of the Homelessness Subcommittee. Moreno Valley can continue its journey in aiding the homeless and assisting the ones who want to get off the streets and possibly become residents of Moreno Valley, as the ones at Inland Compassion have been doing. He also said the federal government has a critical role to play in solving that problem and has shown that it can play the role very effectively. Inland Compassion can make a huge contribution, and if the city council votes yes, then this will give the federal government an opportunity to help our city as they've been funding others. With this opportunity, the subcommittee could implement programs that help with housing and community development needs, being community development block grants, home investment partnerships, programs, and other assistance programs for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to fund. please vote yes. I'm in favor of this, and I believe we need to make a change and start this conversation, start this progress as other cities have been doing. It's only going to get worse from now on, and we've been prolonging it.
The next two speakers are Bob Palomares, followed by Luis Palomares.
Yeah, we need to put this thing on fast track. I mean, we're not as bad as a lot of cities, but for the size and, what we could be doing, we're failing right now. I mean, we have the nonprofits that do a great job, but it's a revolving door. They don't even have enough to give to the people that want it. And my concern is the people that don't want it. In the morning and in the night, I go through Sunnymead, down Paris or Heacock, and now I see new faces, but we need to start with the people that we see every day on the streets. I'm sure those that are going to be the mayor and mayor pro tem, head of this ad hoc committee, get serious. Get some people in there and let's start identifying these people, where they're from, why they're here, who wants to help. We have all the services in the surrounding cities and what we have here. And, let's start cleaning it up because, believe me, it's not impossible. It's just the will to do it. That's what we need to do. So I was at Arroyo's Feed and Grain across the driveway from the pizza place on Sunnymead, and they broke into them. Somebody burglarized. It's the homeless. But those people are barely making it. Now they have to spend money to do the repairs. Paris Burgers. I go there all the time. And I spoke with the owner, and I told him, hey, what happened down there? There's like 6 windows that are broken in a row. He goes, oh, the homeless break in at night. Then I went to the AMPM right there across on Heacock and Indian, or not Indian, Heacock and Backway or Postal. And the guy told me, man, I said, hey, I noticed you guys don't sell beer in this. He goes, oh, no. He goes, with the homeless here? But, it's affecting a lot of people. I know the police department gets the reports and they get the calls and everything. But what the people here in this room right now don't see, those are the stories. And like I said, let's put it on fast track and get this thing going. Let's show the people that you really give a hoot. Thank you.
The next speaker is Luis Palomares.
Wow, Luis Palomares, community activist. This is a real, golly, I don't even know the words to use right now. We're in an epidemic across our country, not just here in Moreno Valley, across our country. I don't seem to believe, because I'm all over the streets in Moreno Valley, going here, there, and every 2,000. I don't think so. There's some exaggeration going here. One says the statistics, but our staff goes out and identifies and finds out what's going on out there. And the last count was what, 70 something? I'm not saying the other ones out there. I'm not saying that, but we got a lot of resources here in our community. We got let's see, we got the county, the community, the Salvation Army. We got vouchers for hotels. This is a nationwide crisis. Nonprofits we got here. I got a lot of nonprofits. We got Building Up Lives. We got Hole in the Wall. We got the Salvation Army. We got Inland Compassion. So we got a lot of resources here. And a lot of times they don't want those resources, a lot of the homeless people. And if we say, we got a shelter over there, it's going to cost tens of millions to get it going, up and running. It's going to cost tens of millions to keep it going. And we're going to open a pandemic box saying, hey, they got a shelter over there, just like in Riverside. All kinds of people are going to come from other surrounding cities. And when they get here and the 35 beds are gone, they're going to say, oh, well, it looks good around here. Let's just hang out and stay here. They're not going to go back to where they came from. People are coming from all over other cities. Marietta, Temecula brings them here and just leaves them here. You know, send it back to sender. I'm believing in helping. I know homeless people myself, you know. So we need wraparound services so we can help the mental health, so we can help the one that has a drug issue. We can help these people because it's just like we're pouring and pouring and pouring into it. More money, 35 beds. You know, it's just like the one they wanted to open here in Paris, the Corey Jackson one. They wanted millions and millions of dollars, and the place wasn't even up and running yet. For 13 beds? Come on. These nonprofits, I'm not talking about the ones in the room, but a lot of these bigger nonprofits, here, $2 for the homeless and $8 for me. You know, they create a job for themselves. That's my worry. That's my concern. And how many people more are going to be here on our, you know, in our streets? I don't see 2,000 people out there. I really don't. And as far as students, wow, we got to help them. They're the first. They're the first we got to help. We got to go find them, identify them, and help them. So that's my concerns here. You know, don't bring what we don't need. There's a need for it, but we have to have all the wraparound services to take care of it. We really, really got to do so. As far as that's my opinion, and I'm worried because, wow, it's nationwide. And if we say, yeah.
Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, and thank you to all of our public speakers as well. That brings us now to the portion of this item where we bring it up to the dais for council comments. We can ask questions from staff and the deliberation, and then ultimately a vote as well. So at this time, I'm going to check to see any. Okay. I see Councilmember Delgado with his hand raised. Unless there's some opposition, Councilmember Delgado can go first. There you go. I see your name on the screen now.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to commend the nonprofits that are in the room, Inland Compassion, Building Up Lives, and there's another one not here, Hole in the Wall. I've been to all three. I've helped all three in one way or another, whether it just passing out food or working with James, passing out pizza or kits at his giveaways, and all three of them are boots to the ground doing what we asked them to do with the grants that we gave them. And I would love to keep all of that going for these folks. I do, and I agree that an ad hoc would assist our thought processes. I don't think it's going to solve the homeless issue. If it was going to solve the homeless issue, the next award would be a Nobel Peace Prize that Mike would be presenting to the city. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the word assists comes in instead of solve. However, in saying that, I want the folks in the city of Moreno Valley just to know, and I'm going to repeat it 20 times, that I am not opposed to this. I am not opposed to this at all. What I would like to see is a continuance. I know Bob said let's fast track this, but I'd like to see a continuance on this until we get a full council. This is so important for the entire city and not just four or three quarters of the city, because the mayor's overall and there's 4 districts. I think that we need a district representative from District 3. District 3, we have 4 months until the election, and we will have a District 3 representative, and I would like to see this come back. There are a few questions that I have. So I did not see this staff report until it was published because I'm not part of the committee. There are some questions that I have, or some, I would say, some amendments or tweaks that I would recommend, and obviously I'm only one person, but I would like to see a couple little changes or whatever, but I'm not opposed to this. What I would like to see, though, and I would motion right now, is we don't vote on it tonight, that we wait until we have a representative from District 3, if that's okay with my colleagues. And Mayor Pro Tem Bernard, I do want to support you. You're the one that brought it up. You're the one that motioned this initially. I know the mayor is 100% on board. And I don't think that Councilmember Elena Baca Santa Cruz is against it, but so my point is, I think this will go on, but I think that we need a a full representation of our city and District 3, because when that person comes in here, he or she is not going to have an opportunity to be appointed to this if we do it tonight, because it says vote on two council members, and if we leave that person out, I don't think that's fair. So I would like to motion that we continue this until we have a full council. And again, I'm not, Mr. Palomares, I'm not opposed to this. I am your district representative, and I'm 1,000,000,000% not opposed. But when it does come back, I will have some comments. If I can motion and get a second to continue until we have a full council, seeking a second.
I'll second that motion.
So the only thing I just want to make sure we have a chance to all have a conversation, but there is a motion and a second. Technically, we need to call for the vote unless, if it's okay, if we also, the three of us get an opportunity to just express our opinion and share our comments and maybe share our thoughts on what you said as well.
I honestly don't care. This is what we do up here. So
okay,
if that's okay with you guys.
Perfect.
Mr. Mayor, since there is a second, you can have discussion.
Before we
Not
vote.
or can?
Can.
Okay, thank you.
Before we vote. Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you. Okay, well, thank you for that. I have some comments as well, but I want to give my other two colleagues an opportunity first. So, Mayor Pro Tem or Council Member, any deliberation?
So I brought this this ad hoc committee forward. One, for those of you that don't know, I served as a social worker for 10 years. I did housing. I did room and board and care. I've done a little bit of everything. So I thank the nonprofits that we have in the room. I thank the nonprofits that do the work. I understand the work that's done. My vision when I came up with this ad hoc committee, because I think that's probably what some of this discussion should be, I do agree that we possibly should wait since we're so close to the election for whoever the D3 representative is going to be, but just so that the people are aware of what it is. As Councilmember Delgado has pointed out, this is no solution. Homelessness is not I am going to tell you the truth. Homelessness, to me, I've seen it, is not a solvable problem. I think you can mitigate it. I think you can put different safeguards around it, but it is not a completely solvable problem. You will never not have someone that's homeless. And the reason you will never not have that, and I say this because I saw there was a lot of energy about what we needed to do and how quickly we needed to do it, is because there are those that choose to live off the grid. There are those who choose not to want to participate in quote unquote what we call society, right? Who don't want to participate in the everyday working life and all of those other things. Not every homeless that you see out there has a mental illness. Not every homeless person that you see out there is homeless because they're living check to check. Some of them simply do not want to be bothered with other people, and they're fine that way. So that's why you'll never solve homelessness, because there are people that choose to be homeless. What the vision is for me and an ad hoc committee, because I know there are some unofficial ad hoc roundtables that have been happening, which I honestly think actually helps kind of taint the system of what I'm trying to do and what we're trying to do up here, is a place where residents can come, hear what we've got going on, so that we can actually hear where are the hot spots that you all are seeing. So you can hear, instead of how Inland Compassion comes up here, and James, I applaud you because you come up here with your data every other week. And it gives James a chance to come up here with his data, put it out there where the residents can hear, okay, it's not something that we have to push down into that 3-minute conversation up here where we don't get to ask questions back and forth and have an open dialogue about it. Something where code enforcement can come in and say, this is what we've worked on. I can have the sheriff's department come in and say, this is what's happening, what we're seeing. That's the reality of what this ad hoc committee should be looking like as far as I'm concerned. I saw that there's other things in here, built in here, like rental homeless assistance, coming up with new programs. One, I want to be very honest about funding. Moreno Valley does not, even though the consideration of what a homelessness is, because I do think if you don't care where children and seniors lay their head at night, there is a problem. But I didn't make the federal government rules to this, and I don't make the state of California's rules to what they consider to be homeless either. So for some of you that are coming here asking us about what we're gonna do, I can only work within my parameters. What some of you really need to be concentrating on is talking to your congressional member, talking to your state senator and your assembly person, and having them apply pressure over there to your governor's office, which I understand everyone comes here because you have your 3 minutes to talk to us. Guess what? I can't make them apply pressure to release the coffers for the money down here. That Prop 1 money that they're gonna send to LA to clean up for the Olympics, because that's the truth, that is not coming here. That money they sent over to the city of Riverside, that's not coming here either. So while I understand why everyone came here, I'm gonna tell you exactly where you need to go. You still need to talk to your assembly person, and you need to camp outside of their office. You've got several that you need to talk to. You got Senator Roth, who's still there. You've got Assemblymember Cervantes. You got Dr. Corey Jackson. Yep. You can go to the county supervisor. How many of you actually go down to the county supervisor's office and ask them about continuum of care? You can go to their board of supervisors meeting and go, hey, I heard you guys have this continuum of care money. What is it, roughly 60 million? $60 million that should be going to homeless services. Ask them where that money is. Ask them where that money is. See, our money trickles down from that. You're starting, I ain't gonna lie, you're starting here at the bottom. You need to start at the ceiling, and you need to work your way on down from there, because that's how their trickle down effect goes. So I am for this ad hoc committee. I am okay with postponing it because I do want whoever sits in this seat to have a say, because maybe they have a different perspective on it than, because right now it's just myself and the mayor that have been working on this committee. But I am gonna put out there that instead of coming here every day, every first and third Tuesday, and telling us everything that's wrong, you got a few more elected officials you should probably hit up that can actually release the money that we need to do a lot of the things that you guys are requesting of us. Because we've been making these things happen out of community benefit agreements, out of grants that we've applied for. I mean, there's a few more people that can actually give money. So instead of some of the other pet projects, tell them that's what you want them to put your tax dollars and your money into. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And so I agree with most of what's been said and disagree with some of what's been said. But I also want to, first and foremost, commend and thank our nonprofit partners, especially, those of you who are here in the Compassion, Building Up Lives. I know Power Speaks Louder, Hole in the Wall. There's a handful of nonprofits that are homegrown here from Moreno Valley that have been operating here for years, some that are a little bit newer, but I know, and we all see the work that you're doing out there, right? And so without a doubt, I know that we appreciate that, and it's making a difference. Now, this subcommittee that we're deliberating about and it's on our agenda is a step in the right direction. Ultimately, this is going to be essentially the same thing as like our economic development subcommittee. It's going to be almost the same type of body where we have a conversation. We give the community, our constituents, nonprofits, our partners to come out, give you an opportunity so we can have a longer conversation. Like Mayor Pro Tem mentioned, you only get maybe 3 minutes here. You're rushing, you can't get your point across, you can't really express everything that you want to. A subcommittee at least gives us an opportunity to sit down at the table, talk about the issues in more detail, and try to come up with some solutions, some real tangible solutions to chip away at the homeless issue that any other politician will point to that point in time count and say, homelessness is not getting worse. We got to be honest with ourselves. It is getting worse and worse. It's not getting any better. That is the honest truth. And we need to do more. The status quo is not working. And as Mayor Pro Tem mentioned, right, from the governor to the state legislature, and I'll put even more focus on our county supervisors, because now with Prop 1, pretty much every application that comes out of Prop 1 has to be approved and go through the county board of supervisors. So even if we wanted to go after Prop 1 money, which is becoming available now, we have to get an agreement with the county, or else we can't apply on our own, even if we wanted to. And so, ultimately, any decisions or recommendations or proposals that this subcommittee would make still has to come to the full body. We cannot make ultimate decisions at the subcommittee level. That's not the authority that we're being given. Now, Councilmember, to your point, I see where you're coming from, right, about there not being a D3 council member. And I would even go so far as to propose kind of a middle ground and say maybe we establish a subcommittee tonight, and then we include in the motion that once the new council member is seated, we revisit this again to give them an opportunity to give input and take another vote, to appoint 2 members. So we still give the D3 council member an opportunity to have a say and have input, but also I don't think we should wait. We're not doing ourselves any favors waiting another 3 or 4 months until the next council member is seated. We're just waiting. We're sitting ducks while the problem is getting worse. I think we definitely need to do something about it, and a subcommittee doesn't hurt. And if anything, it helps. We, at a minimum, have those conversations that we need to have. I wouldn't support postponing this or continuing it until the next council member is seated. I would rather us establish it, put it in place. We revisit the 2 members that sit on the subcommittee once the D3 member is seated in December, and we can figure out, if they want to reconfigure it or change the 2 members that are on there. But this is also something we've been working on for a long time, for months now, right? And so I'm really hoping that this gets established. It sounds like there's support to establish it, just some minor details that we got to figure out. So I'm fully in support of this. And I hope that we can come to some kind of consensus on this.
Well, I'm fully in support of this as well, with some adjustments, but the adjustments have to be made, and like you said, it's going to take the council to make that, but I still feel that if we get this going tonight, then absent D3, we still made a decision without that person, and we still made a decision to move forward on something as important as this. So, so there's nothing, I'm not gaining anything from this. I'm not gaining any popularity contest by asking to postpone it. What I'm doing is asking for a fair process for D3, the person that's not in there yet, and then we have a clean slate. We move forward, and as early as the first or third meeting, or maybe the second meeting after the election.
Well, typically the ROV has 30 days to
whenever.
certify the election, and so you're potentially
A date
looking
to be determined.
Yes.
Okay.
This might realistically probably be until January if it
Yes.
gets continued.
Oh, most likely January. I was thinking January because the election and ROV, like I said, the first or second meeting in January. To be determined.
It's up to you and how you want to motion and second. Right now, there's a motion to continue. Typically, if there's not a date determined, it's a date uncertain.
To a date uncertain is what I would like. And again, I'm just one person. If you guys want to do that. And
So I have a question. What are the adjustments that you would like made?
I don't want to talk about them now because the other person's not here. I mean,
Okay.
Do we talk about them now? And then
We can.
We can,
We
that
have the
way when it
opportunity.
comes
We're
up.
allowed to.
I would just defer to the city attorney. You have a motion and a second, and you guys are talking about modifications to staff recommendations as stated in the staff report and the resolution. I defer to the city attorney as to whether or not we're getting into some gray area here.
that's you, Steve.
You can ask for a friendly amendment. Second amendment.
But what
If you
I mean,
want.
if we're not going to pass it tonight, then
First, we
if
need to
it-
see how the vote would go as
yeah,
well.
let's just
and-
go. Let's just
The
vote.
2-2 vote, then it fails.
So I'll make an alternate motion just for the sake of, to give another option. An alternate motion to approve staff's recommendations as written in the agenda with a minor amendment that the council will reconsider what 2 members sit on the subcommittee in January, once the District 3 council member is seated. So I would make that slight adjustment, and I would make that as an alternate motion.
Yeah, that technically could be considered to be a motion to amend, so you can have debate just on that particular amendment.
The original mover has to be in agreement with
Correct.
amending their motion.
Right. I just want to vote on the original, my original proposal, and move on. And move on meaning don't get me wrong by saying I don't want this, because I do. I just want it to be a full council. And a couple amendments down the road. I mean, when we come back in January or whenever we come back, then I think we can talk about what. And I know what you're going to say is that we can hash it out in one meeting because it's one little item. So it's not like it's going to be postponed any further than that meeting, in my opinion. So I'm looking, I motioned, we have a second.
And I guess there's an alternate motion as well. Again, to approve staff's recommendations on the agenda with the caveat or the amendment that we revisit the 2 council members that are appointed in January once the District 3 council member is seated.
No, so here's the thing. He has to agree to your amendment. He doesn't agree to your amendment. You can
But it's
pose an
not-
alternate, but technically we have a motion on the floor. If you make an amendment to the motion, he has to agree to the amendment to the motion.
But it's not an amendment to his motion, it's an alternate motion.
Okay.
So it would be a separate vote.
Okay, so then Steve,
me-
take
let
the
me-
alternate motion. Let's
let me-
take the alternate motion first and then vote on and see where that ends.
Let me read you the motion to substitute. Okay, this is in your own rule. So a motion to substitute a new motion for a pending motion or to amend a pending motion by substitution shall be debatable only as to the content of the substituted motion. So a motion to substitute shall be germane to the general subject matter of the pending motion, but may differ in wording, purpose, and effect. If the motion fails on the motion to substitute, the new motion shall take place in the former motion, which shall no longer be on the floor. So basically, this motion to substitute, which is like a motion, an alternative motion, you can vote on that. If that fails, and that can fail on a 2-2 vote, we go back to the main motion.
Mayor, just real quick, I just want to make sure with the city attorney, the alternate motion right now is only a motion. There is no second.
Not yet. Okay, thank you for that clarification. I know it gets very technical here, but, okay, so I am seeking a second for the alternate motion that I proposed, which is to approve staff's recommendations per the agenda, and we revisit the appointments in January, and I'm seeking a second for that.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's a second by Mayor Pro Tem Bernard. Unless there are any other motions or amendments, we vote on the alternate motion first, see how that vote goes, and then we proceed from there. So, Madam Clerk, if you could please call for the vote on the alternate motion. Okay, and that's tied, which means no action. The motion did not pass. So now we go back to the original motion, which was to continue this to a date undetermined.
To be to a date uncertain.
And there was a second by Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz. Madam Clerk, please call for the vote. And that passes with 3 yeses, and I'm the only no on that vote. So that motion passes, which means this item will come back when the council decides to bring it back.
When D3 gets here.
Well, technically, it's a date
yeah, you're
uncertain, right?
But that was my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that brings us next to item L, which is the Regional Commission Committee Board reports, and we have a few, we have several. We'll start first with Councilmember Delgado. He has a report from the March Joint Powers Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight I'm providing an update from the March Joint Powers Commission meeting that was held on Wednesday, August 14th. We heard an update on the March Field Air Museum. We approved a conditional use permit for a jiu-jitsu studio in the the Woodcrest area. We approved a short-term contract with an airport consultant for an evaluation of the March Inland Airport management practices. And we gave direction to move forward with relocating the JPC meetings so that we can use live streaming to broadcast the meetings. We'll be reporting back when the date, time, and location details are finalized, and that concludes my update on the last March Joint Powers Commission meeting that was held on August 14th. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, actually have two reports to give. The first one is from the Riverside County Transportation Commission, and that was for our meeting held on July 10th. Tonight, I'm providing updates from the Riverside County Transportation Commission. The commission reviewed the expenditure plan and decided not to seek voter approval for a new transportation sales tax measure in the November 2024 ballot. So just quick history crash course. RCTC was considering adding a ballot measure, a tax measure to the November ballot. The board decided not to proceed with it, so that measure will not be on the November election. The commission also heard a presentation of the 2024 Traffic Relief Plan Public Outreach Summary. That concludes my report for the last RCTC meeting. And I also have a report for the July 1st Regional Conservation Authority meeting. At the RCA Board of Directors meeting on July 1st, 2024, the activity reports for MSHCP fee collections, JPR status, property acquisition, agency investment, consultants, and quarterly financial statement were received and filed. Additionally, the board received an update on the Strategic Improvement Assessment and Action Plan. The consultant team, ICF Jones and Stokes, is reviewing the processes, procedures, policies, and the specific components of the MSHCP and how they are implemented. They will be preparing a memo that summarizes the information collected in this phase and identifying challenges and causes affecting the HANS process. The board received a state and federal legislative update as well. That update included an update on the state budget and efforts to increase federal funding for HCP Land Acquisition Grant Program. On May 29th, the California State Assembly and Senate released a joint legislative budget plan, which called for shifting $3 billion in climate-related investments from the general fund to GGRF as the funding source. At the federal level, the fiscal year 2024 Land Acquisition Grant Program is currently funded at $26 million, while the fiscal year 2023 eligible grant requests for Section 6 funding surpassed $76 million. The next RCA board meeting is scheduled for September 9th, 2024. And that concludes the two reports that I had for this evening. Next, we have a report from Mayor Pro Tem Bernard for RTA.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I'm providing updates from the RTA Board Administration and Operations Committee meeting held on August 7th. The committee approved to authorize staff to add 8 vehicle transfer applications to the RTA's retired vehicle recipient waitlist in accordance with the RTA's vehicle transfer policy. The committee also heard a presentation of the RTA's cybersecurity needs and authorized to award an agreement to 9th Generation Computing, Inc., to provide virtual security operations center services for a 1-year base term with a 4-year, 1-year option terms in the amount not to exceed $438,000. That concludes my report on the last RTA Board Administration and Operations Committee meeting.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. That brings us to the last two reports, WRCOG and the Joint Task Force from Councilmember Baca, Santa Cruz.
Good evening. Tonight's report is the WRCOG Executive Committee meeting on August 5th, 2024. It was a special recognition for WRCOG's 10th consecutive year winning the Government Finance Officers Association Award for its financial reporting. Additionally, activity reports for WRCOG, committees, external agencies, groups, and committees, and IRIN were received and filed. Furthermore, staff recommended to approve the following: a fiscal year 2023-2024 budget amendment to increase the budget by $341,000 related to an approved settlement offer and legal costs in the HERO program, to authorize execution of a TUMP program credit agreement between WRCOG, the City of Temecula, and SB Air for the construction of Western Bypass Road from Rancho California Road to the State Route 79, and the construction of the Western Bypass Bridge with a maximum credit of $32 million. They also adopted and approved execution of a purchase and sale agreement with First National Assets related to the PACE program to prevent judicial foreclosure on delinquent property owners, and that ensures timely bond payment, avoiding negative credit impacts. Conversely, the staff recommendations were not approved to increase the maximum bond authorization for the CPACE program from $200 million to $1 billion in order to allow for the issuance of bonds to finalize the CPACE program. In fact, the executive committee continued the item to allow for the existing PACE subcommittee to review the increase for specific requests and overall PACE program recommendations at a subsequent committee meeting. Finally, the staff from both Eastern Municipal Water District and Western Water provided an update on water-related matters of regional concern. The next board meeting will be September 9th due to the Labor Day holiday. My second report is for the joint school task force meeting. We have many local partners that attend this meeting and give updates. We had updates today from city staff from the city manager's office, including community events, as well as the approval of Measure U on the November ballot. We had updates from our police department, especially around the schools, shared that we'll be having a Coffee with a Cop coming up soon at the Starbucks on LaSalle and Iris. The date is not yet determined. And of course, the annual trunk or treat event planning is underway that will be held on Monday, October 28th, here by City Hall on Calle San Juan de los Lagos. Exciting news from our transportation engineers about the pilot speed test on the speed bumps. This was a program that was aiming to help our public safety get to emergencies quicker by considering both safety in our bumps in the road, but as well as the need for our emergency personnel to get through quicker. So our engineers put together a plan to make the bumps wide enough to slow down traffic, but narrow enough at the perfect place to allow for emergency fire trucks. And they were awarded the Build a Better Mousetrap Award. So kudos to our team for, and especially for our departments working together to solve an issue. Parks and Community Service gave updates, and the one big update that I want to share with you is this will be the city's 40th birthday. So we will be having a happy birthday celebration for our city at this year's tree lighting holiday, lighting ceremony, and snow day. So that'll be on, I think it's going to be on Saturday, December 7th. Yeah. And then next week we'll be opening up the city's 36th park, Windsong, and that'll be on Azura Street on Thursday, the 29th. Our partner Think Together have reported that school started and there have thousands of children in the after-school program. Our new superintendent, Dr. Ruvalcaba, came and shared about new programs in our schools, including cooking and cosmetology courses. State Parks came and gave an update about some events that will be here locally. Moreno Valley College also wanted to highlight that their classes started yesterday, and they'll be planning their huge World Mental Health Day on campus on December 10th. And they shared that their dental program is up and running, and they have walk-in availability Monday and Wednesday. My report's wrong. It's Monday and Wednesday from 9 a.m. to noon and 2 to 6 p.m. So these are walk-in appointments. They do teeth cleaning, x-rays, and exams at no cost. No need to make an appointment. Just come on down to the college. And they're also doing some projects that are impacting parking, so plan with extra time to get there. The Board of Supervisor staff also came and gave an update, and one of the ones I want to highlight is the home ownership program. This program allows first-time home buyers in specific income brackets to receive a down payment for their house up to $100,000. So this is a really good program for our residents here looking to be new homeowners. And they have a lot of openings on their boards and commissions, as do we. And also, it's our partner Rising Stars at the mall. It's their 15th year anniversary, so they're also doing really well, and invite the community to come and see their programs, especially their wraparound mental health programs. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. A lot of updates tonight. And that brings us to employee association reports. So we don't have one tonight, which brings us to item N, the famous city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor, members, City Council. Just 3 items tonight. First, I thought the Olympics were over, but I guess it's not. So we won more awards. This is actually from the International Economic Development Council, IEDC. We won 3 gold awards, 1 silver, and 1 bronze, and these are in 5 different categories. And IEDC is the International Organization for Economic Development. And we won awards for, of course, our award-winning Burke, also for the Courtyard at Cottonwood, and also our programming that we offer with the Moreno Valley College. So a lot of awards from that organization for the city. Also, we also won another award. This is actually for the Award of Excellence for Procurement. This is the AEP award, and this is actually awarded by the National Procurement Institute. And this is awarded not just to cities, but to counties, cities, school districts, states, special districts, and universities. And it is a national award, and this is the 7th consecutive time the city has won this procurement award. And finally, Winsome Park, this is our next park. The dedication ceremony is Thursday, August 29th. It is at 10 a.m., and is open invitations. There'll be some light refreshments. And I just want to commend the council. Thank you for support for this type of project, because this project was actually built by a developer. So no city funds was actually involved in building this park, and it is now dedicated to the city. With that, I hope to see all of you there, and also a lot of residents there. And this is our 36th park in our park system. That concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Is there going to be a ceremony? Do you have the medals with you? I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for the update, Mr. City Manager. Next up, closing comments from the council. We'll start with D1, Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
Oh, I feel like I gave a lot of my updates in my report. Let me see. Thank you to everyone who came up and wished me a happy birthday. Nowhere I'd rather be than spending my birthday working for the city, doing the work that I enjoy. So thank you for those of you who have come out tonight as well. And I'll be on vacation the next council meeting, so I won't be here, but I look forward to seeing you at the end of next month. That'll be it.
All right, next up, Councilmember Delgado.
We didn't have a choice but to say happy birthday, because you have this thing on your head that says, tell me happy birthday. So I will be quick, but there's a lot, because I didn't want to cover the stuff that I did over the summer when we went to National Night Out. So I attended over the summer. I attended the Jamil Dada Excellent Youth Awards, which they offer scholarships and give scholarships to kids in the thousands of dollars. And we found out that night that Jamil Dada himself put $250,000 from his own bank account into that program. So the awards can keep coming. So that was at the end of the night. It blew us away. I attended the Senior Center's 3 different events, the Grillin' and Chillin' Barbecue, which was really cool. I got to help serve the seniors there. Bidwit's 10th anniversary luncheon, where Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz spoke and wished them a happy anniversary for 10 years. And then I attended the food distribution with Feeding America at the Senior Center, so that was really cool. It was over 100 degrees, but they still stood in line, and the line was like a Costco line where they did it zigzag because there was so many people there. So there was definitely a outpouring of help for them. I attended the Juan Bautista de Anda Trail dedication, which all of us did, and it was really cool. Employee Appreciation Luncheon, which our city manager's office provides an employee appreciation lunch for them periodically. In-N-Out, they hired the In-N-Out truck to come out to the city and did that. We attended the State of the City, which was absolutely awesome. The State of the City on August 2nd, whenever it was. The State of the City was awesome. That was a long time ago, but I didn't get to say this last time. So I know, right? But I got a lot of comments on the state of the city, you guys, so I wanted to share that. National Night Out, yep, let's see how old that is. Attended that. Community Enhancement Ride-Along. And what came out of that Community Enhancement Ride-Along was I attended their briefing with their staff. And I'm telling you guys, the way the city looks right now is due in part to them, with Melissa's folks and the PD, amazing stuff they do. They work with there's just so many different entities within community enhancement, and code enforcement was just one of them. So Sean and I rode along with the supervisor there, and it was amazing. Amazing stuff they do. Library branch in District 2, thank you guys, that was awesome. The mayor spoke at that and dedicated that. State of the District, there it is. State of the District for District 5 for our district supervisor. That was really cool. It was well attended. Lots of people there from all 6 cities that he supervises or he has control over. Courtyards at Cottonwood yesterday, Phase 2. And one of the things that we don't come up here and say a lot is we resolve issues on a daily basis with our folks in our district, whether it's a homeless issue, a fence issue, potholes, or whatever it is. We're continually dealing with smaller issues, and we turn it over to staff. Staff resolves it, and then they let us know. I got 2 today saying these CRMs were closed, so thank you guys very much. And the last thing I'll close with, besides everybody smiling and have a fantastic week, is this is political season. And do not wait, please, and this goes out to everybody, do not wait to do your homework on anything that you're going to vote on. Don't wait until November 4, November 3 to vote on November 5th what's on the ballot. Do your homework now, because there's a lot of stuff on those ballot descriptions that are not full. You just do your homework. Read deeper into what they are, and vote for what's best for you, what's best for your ideals, your views, and then most importantly, what your family, what you can swallow after the results of this election, what your family wants. So do your homework. That's what the takeaway that you guys can get from that. So thank you guys very much for your patience. Great meeting, and be kind to one another. Smile, Luis. I see you out there smiling. I love it. See, she's always smiling. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Next up, Mayor Pro Tem Bernard.
So I'm going to make mine pretty quick tonight. So we did State of the City. We went to State of the District. See, everybody thinks we just fight all day. We do not fight. I know, right? We resolve a lot and we get along a lot. So I went to State of the District for our county representative. It was well attended. It was interesting to see all the work being done throughout the entire county, not just the things that are done in the city of Moreno Valley, but everywhere. Also, we did the library where we got to knock down a wall that was barely standing there, and the mayor almost took me out with his sledgehammer. So I feel a little way about it, but it's okay. I know not to stand next to him next time. Yeah. So I just really want to talk about all of the things that are reported to us. I would like to thank the residents. We can only see so much, and we only drive so much of the city. As much as I love this city, we don't get in all the nooks and crannies. So when you guys send us a text message, an email, when you call into the city, the folks that do all of the hard work and the legwork is city staff. And I cannot thank you all enough. You are out there clearing things, and many times in less than 24 hours. I've seen things getting cleared within 12. So I appreciate all the work that you guys put in. I appreciate all the things that you do. I know there's a few things coming up for my Parks and Rec team. It's about to get fun. I saw everyone's favorite. We're getting ready to have our 2nd annual color run. Also, I'm just going to do a quick plug. The book, the Soaring book, is out now. If you have a little person and they need to learn some patience, Master Robert has a karate class
at 11:10 that my little person loves. So please come out. Those are just the things that you can find if you look in that soaring book that are offered there. And my son's been in that class now since May, and he absolutely loves it. So those are just the little things that our Parks and Recs team does out here. And I know you guys are gearing up for snow day and things like that. So I appreciate all of the work that staff puts and pours into this city. The love that you guys put into the city is felt throughout. And Melissa, please continue with your potholes. I got a lot of comments about fixing potholes, and I'm very proud of you for fixing all of the potholes. And with that, as Councilmember Delgado said, it is, as we call it, political season, aka silly season. Do your research. Your initial ballots, your mail-in ballots should be hitting the first week of October. If you don't vote, you can't complain. If you need to register to vote, please get that done. Don't wake up on November 6th and ask yourself what happened, because if you didn't vote, that means you agreed with it regardless, and you can't complain. And with that, have a good night.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And yeah, next time I swing the hammer, I'll make sure to be more careful. I didn't even realize until right now, but good thing we had our hard hats on, right? So yeah, same thing. Since we're doing a Throwback Tuesday today, I guess, I'll mention the Moreno Valley Family Health Center backpack giveaway. Again, that was just right down the street. They gave over 1,000 backpacks as well, and this was the 7th year that they've done that event. And they not only have a location in Moreno Valley, they have health centers in other cities as well. So just a huge shout out to Marina and the entire team over there for that very successful event again this year. Library, also just briefly to talk about that, our 4th city library finally coming to the city of Moreno Valley up in D2 in Sunnymead Ranch area. People are really, really happy about it, super excited about it. So thank you again to my colleagues for, just the team effort and making that possible, to a city staff as well for setting up that fun demo event. That was the first time I think we've ever done anything like that. So that was great. And also just a quick plug for the libraries. My son also recently was able to check out, there are these themed story bags. We got that for the first time from the mall branch, and he loves dinosaurs. So we got a dinosaur themed story bag. It has a bunch of books in there. Any parents out there, any grandparents with young kids especially, I didn't even know that was there. I'm the mayor, and I didn't even know that they had that. So, highly recommend checking those out. It's really fun for the kids. Cava grand opening coming up on August 23rd, actually later this week. So I know a lot of people are happy about that. I've never had it personally, but I hear it's supposed to be really good. So looking forward to that. Dutch Bros will be coming soon. I know a lot of people are asking. Please stay tuned. That's coming very soon. Courtyards in Cottonwood, also that we just had that event for ribbon cutting for a little over 30 units of affordable housing, which is always great. And we were talking about homelessness earlier, and we know that we need more units in the state of California. We're at least 1 million units short across the entire state. And even though Moreno Valley is designated pro housing, we're exceeding our RHNA numbers. We can't do it on our own. We need every city, every county across the state to meet that challenge and meet the need as well, in order to make sure that there's enough housing for everybody. We got people sleeping in garages, sleeping in their cars, sleeping out on the street, and until we introduce significantly more supply into the market, the situation is not going to get any better. So that's my brief rant on that. I want to invite everybody to a telephone town hall. It's going to be probably the last one of the year. I'm going to be doing that on August 28th, which is next Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're going to be giving a lot of updates, what's happening around the city, some exciting news that we can share, and also answering questions from you. So if you haven't already received an email or seen it on our platforms on social media, you can go to our city website or our city's pages on social media and register for that. Again, that's August 28th at 6 p.m. for the telephone town hall that's coming up. And then last but not least, Windsong Park, as has been mentioned, our newest park in the city that's opening August 29th officially. So definitely looking forward to that. And we have several more parks that are coming down the pipeline as well. So within the next year or so, we'll be cutting a few more ribbons for some more parks. So that's all I have for tonight. Just again, want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. whether we agree or disagree. You know, this is the democracy. And speaking of politics, actually, I want to congratulate, I should point it both ways, right, since it came up. Congratulate all the candidates that were qualified and are going to be on the ballot. It takes a lot just to do that alone, to have the courage to put your name out there. So I want to, you know, wish you all the best. Of course, in Moreno Valley, there's 3 elections, right, for the mayor's office, District 1, as well as District 3, which has been vacant for a few months now. So this is your chance, all of us in the city of Moreno Valley, to voice our opinion. What direction do we want the city to move in? And, you know, this is how democracy works. So if you're not registered to vote, please make sure to register to vote and make sure that you exercise your democratic rights. So with that, we'll go ahead and conclude tonight's meeting, and we will adjourn officially at 8:03 p.m. Thank you. It's at 7:30.